Welcome to this video illustrating the Unterbahn review process. Here's a quick overview of how you, as a reviewer, would give a client feedback on their submission. Only the main points are covered in this tour. Since you are a reviewer, after you sign in, you are taken to your reviewer dashboard. You then need to wait to receive an invitation to do a review. If you are interested in doing the requested review, you must agree to the non-disclosure agreement. Having agreed to the NDA, you are shown the complete submission. You then write your review and send it to the client. At this point, you go back to wait for the next invitation. We're going to assume that the system has notified you that one or more invitations to do reviews are available. You will see two things on the dashboard. There's an entry in the invitations to write reviews section, and there's a private message inviting you to do a review. Let's click on the review button to go to the non-disclosure agreement screen. Before you can see the actual submission, the client has asked you to agree to a non-disclosure agreement. To see what you're agreeing to, click on the expandable text box and read the agreement. If you have any questions about the NDA, you can always contact the client to discuss your issues. In this tour, let's just accept the NDA by clicking on the Accept button. After agreeing to the NDA, you're brought here to the View Submissions page. Besides the submission itself, you're also shown meta information, like the client and when they sent information for review. To begin the review, click on the Add Review button. This Edit Draft Review page starts with guidelines for reviewers. After the guideline for reviewers, you will see that the Edit tab is selected. To see the submission under review, click on the snapshot icon. If this gets in your way, you can close this view of the submission by clicking on the icon again. The snapshot either contains the original submission or a link to it. You can give your review a name if you wish. Your review really starts with the overall comments which you write. These comments are subjective. They contain your overall impression of the submission and any useful information you wish to impart that covers the submission as a whole. Next is a series of objective criteria. Each type of submission has its own set of criteria. Each criteria has two parts. A required rating, going from poor to excellent on a scale of 1 to 10, and an optional comment, which is often the meat of the review. The comment says why you rated the submission the way you did, what advice you can give that is applicable to this criteria, any actionable advice relative to this criteria. I'm going to complete this review of this submission for the purposes of this tour. Having finished my review, I will save it for later editing and or to send to the client. Having written and saved the review, this page shows some meta information, a snapshot of the original submission, and the review itself. The review is what the client would receive if I sent it to them now. This page shows the overall review notes, the ratings I gave for each criterion, and the comments I wrote for each criterion. Also, each criterion has a weighting factor that is used to compute the overall score for the submission. This is a simplistic number that gives the client a general idea of how well their submission fulfills its intended purpose. If I wanted to change this review, I could click on the Edit tab. However, for this tour, let's go with this as is. Thus, I'll click on the Send Review to Client button. Having completed this review, the reviewer is awarded a payment determined by the current pricing plan. Having viewed this information, the next step would be to click Proceed. The review process is basically complete. Thus, you are taken back to your reviewer dashboard. You will notice three things. There are no outstanding draft reviews. The review that was just completed is in the Completed Reviews section, and You have a private message telling you this. At this point, you need to wait for further invitations. The system will notify you when this happens, using a method of your choice as determined by your preferences. After the client reads your review, they may send you an evaluation of your review based on 4 basic criteria: clarity, usefulness, applicability, actionability. The system will also notify you when you get an evaluation.